Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well.
Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talk. I am your host, Tom. I'm coming to you live from the Lincoln Studios, WOCA Radio. I just almost said it again. Just off the runway at the Ocala International Airport on a beautiful Monday morning. Sun's high in the sky, beautiful blue skies. Maybe the rain has left us for a while. The tropics, though, they're heating up, but not near as much as local politics are heating up. We'll have more about that later today when political pundit Sue Mosley joins us at 9:30 here on the radio program to talk about the shocking firing of the Ocala Fire Chief, Shane Alexander. I'll get into it a little bit before Sue gets here, but Sue will also be here to talk about the firing that happened about 30 minutes before work ended on Friday. Kind of like so it didn't hit the airwaves until Monday. Give them a couple days to try to get their stories right is the way I'm looking at it. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk with Galen Unall from Life South, unless he wants to. He may have an opinion too. You never know about Galen. He joins us from Life South, brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring and Just Ship. Galen, fresh off of a great golf outing where you played well, I played terrible. Jeff Cizik played well, and Dan rode in a golf cart. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? Good morning. I mean, I think this weekend we confirmed a bunch of things that Dan is. You know what? I asked him at one point, I'm like, why do you even enjoy this game?
I couldn't tell you why.
So atrociously bad.
Was the worst shot he hit, though, the one that just left the tee box and went dead right across 2 lanes of traffic out into a field and houses and all? Was that the worst ball he hit?
Yeah, it ended up behind us.
Yeah.
It ended up behind us. He hit it forward, and it was so bad it ended up behind us. Yeah, I don't know.
I know there was one time you and I were sitting in the shade, and the shade was about 6-8 feet in front of the tee box, and we were like, no, we need to pull around and go sit in the sun, which is behind the tee box.
That's right. Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. So unless you're standing directly in front of them, you're safe as can be there.
Or if you're in the middle of the fairway, you got no problems.
Right. Absolutely. No chance. No chance of getting hit there.
We did.
That was fun, though.
Good fun outing on Saturday morning. The Westport High School. It was the Boosters Club, right? It was the high school booster club.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, it's scorekeeping in all of these things is really sketchy. But when the winning score is minus 23, and they parred the last 4 holes they played.
A little tough.
You know why they parred the last 4 holes? Because a certain friend of ours was following them, tracking every shot once he saw the leaderboard and saw what they were at. And you shoot 23 under and you have 4 pars.
Something's
wrong.
A
lot of sketchiness.
The math there doesn't seem to add up. Does not seem to add up.
Congratulations. You are the champion of the Westport High School Booster Club whatever golf tournament. Put that on your resume. I hope you slept well with that.
You know what I like, though? I like the energy of the kids that were out there. We got to talk to and interact with some of the kids. The energy of him. We had a celebrity not named Tom Schmitz that showed up. A big celebrity, not somebody that just thinks he's a celebrity in his own mind. And that is arguably the greatest football player to come out of Marion County. Dante Culpepper was there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. He'll always have my vote, though.
You know who I'm voting for. I'm voting for the guy that played linebacker. You know that.
I know. And again, you could definitely make an argument for Brantley, for either Brantley, right? You could make an argument for John because of his high school career. But Dante is mine. And by the way, I know people who think that Tyrone Young belongs in the conversation.
Oh, I do too.
And I understand that. But
and we always
Brantley
and we always leave out Ernie Mills when we talk about this, and we shouldn't. Ernie was
absolutely.
Ernie was very, very good.
Yeah.
But all in all, a great.
Well, two of those guys were Pro Bowlers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dante and Scott Brantley both played the Pro Bowl, so that takes into a different level that Ernie didn't have.
But arguably, both could be arguably the greatest, or they could be co-greatest. You know, it's one of those different era things. But Saturday, Dante was throwing passes to some of the kids and everything. It was a good time. Raised quite a bit of money for it. I will tell you this. I came out of my pocket pretty hard, as you know, and didn't win anything in the drawings, the 50-50, the raffles. You came out of your pocket very hard as well, being that you paid for the whole endeavor for us to play, and then you also went out and bought as much as you could with the 50-50 and everything. But you took home a basket, sir.
I did. I got the whiskey basket, and I won't drink any of it, but that's all right. I'll parse it out, and if you come over to my house, feel free to grab something out of that basket.
You got Christmas gifts now already.
That's correct. Fireball, Jägermeister. I'm all set.
Yeah, you put those in a little decorative box. Send them to Dan Martone. I'm sure he won't know the difference.
Dan would drink all of that.
Every bit of it.
Doesn't care.
No,
Doesn't
of
care.
course not. He may have been drinking it, and that's why his golf game's just terrible. Has nothing to do with drinking. Has nothing.
But you know what? Tom? I did decide that I don't miss playing golf. Right? Because sometimes you play and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll get back into it. No, I don't miss it.
Oh, wait.
I don't miss it.
Breaking news, Galen. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Dan still wants you to know he made a 50-footer as we walked off 18.
Oh, of course he did. Oh, my God. He's going to text me that once a week. He did make an absolute again, and that's why he thinks he's great. And Jeff and I hit the ball much further than Dan and much better than Dan. Jeff much better than me. And so we're on one hole, and we're both hitting 6 irons. And Dan gets up there and hits one, and he's staring it down, and I'm like, you're 40 yards short of the green. What are you looking at? He goes, I'm like, what did you hit? He goes, an 8 iron. An 8 iron? Yeah, you can hit an 8 iron 174.
No, you're mistaken,
you can hit
sir.
a 300.
You're mistaken, sir. He hit a 7 iron.
Oh, okay, it was a 7 iron. He's not. And I tell him this all the time. And then him and his Popeye Gilmore forearms, he catches one and hits one like 250. That's the rarity.
You want me to help you? You want me to make your day even better and make you laugh even a little harder? So after you give him the business for hitting the 7 iron, okay, we go up to the green. He's like, oh, it wasn't 40 yards. It's only 30 yards to the right, right? So he's trying to get out. So he picks the ball up. We play the hole out. We make birdie. We get back in the carts. You and Jeff drive off, and he looks at me and goes, maybe it's time for me to rethink my irons. Maybe I can't hit a 7 iron 170 yards anymore.
That's what he said?
Oh yeah, that's what he says to me. Maybe I'm getting a little older. Maybe I can't hit a 7 iron 170 yards anymore.
My distance just isn't what it was before. Really? Wow. Wow. Good thing I didn't hear that.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
I almost fell out.
He
of
really
the golf cart.
does. And that's it kind of makes it sad because he really thinks that he's got some skill. He really thinks that what we're doing is all just part of the radio.
He can fly an airplane. That's a skill I don't have, so I don't argue with him a whole lot. He can fly an airplane. Yeah, see, that leaves Galen speechless there, see?
Yeah,
Galen
yes,
know what
he
to say.
can. Yes, he can. Yes.
And by the way, he can land an airplane, too. That's a big deal. That's
even
big deal.
better.
That's
he can take off, fly, and land.
Yeah.
I will give him that.
That's a big deal.
But he's delusioned. He's so delusioned as a golfer. It's
but he's
like borderline bad.
He's in the majority there, not the minority. Because if you ask the average golfer, like you said it, this was the greatest quote you said over the weekend. No, Jeff Sizing. Jeff said it. Jeff goes, the average golfer pumps one out there at 180 one time in his round, and he'll tell you he can hit it 180. He constantly hits it 180. And, I love the guys that say, I legitimately could hit the ball 300. No, you can't. And here's how I know. The average, even with Bryson DeChambeau killing the ball and everything, the average on the PGA Tour, I looked it up last night to see what the average drive was. You know what the average when you take all 125 card holders, you know what the average drive is on the PGA Tour?
Like 290 something.
296.4.
Yeah, and again,
you know what the average hacker's drive is?
I drive 300 yards, but that doesn't happen all the time.
You know what the average hacker's drive is when you take the average of a hacker of golfers like us? You know what our average drive is? About 235 to 240.
Probably, yeah.
So, and everybody asks me all the time, well, a big guy like you, how far can you pump it out there? About 225, 230. 235 if I get a hold of it. Sometimes I'll roll it out there 250, but right now with the back, I was quite happy with my performance on Saturday with my back. Although I will tell you, it wasn't the back that got me, and I didn't expect this. And you were like, "What do you mean? You should have expected it." And you were right. I should have expected it. The energy was not there. That was what was not there for me. The energy was not there. But I made one putt, I think, and I think we even used one shot of mine. So I contributed 2 shots out of 18 holes. So I feel like that was a win.
Yeah, no, I mean, I played good early and then fell apart late. But that I just got tired. So.
But we did have a ace in the hole.
Yeah.
And he's probably on some sort of back medicine now and may be scheduled for surgery because Jeff carried us, all 3 of us, on his back.
Sure did. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was fun, though. It was a good time. It was a really good time.
It was a good time.
And I think he did win closest to the pin, so I don't know what he got for that.
Well, let's see. That's good. We got to take a break. When we come back, more with Galen Udall from Life South on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Looking for an affordable way to attend your dream university? Start at the College of Central Florida, then finish up your degree at another university. Higher Education Happenings program Wednesday, July 7th at 9:35 a.m. features Dr. Alan Denoff, Associate Vice President of Arts and Science, and Dr. Raffle Robinson, Director of Admissions and Student Recruitment. That's July 7th at 9:35 a.m. presented by the College of Central Florida and WOCA, The Source.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Monday. Talk about our outing for the Westport High School Booster Club for their football program. It's good to see our buddy John out there. He's he's a Bellevue homer, but it was good to see him out there supporting high school football in general.
Yeah, he does love high school football, so I can make fun of him for a lot of things. That's not one of them.
No,
he's a huge supporter of all of our high schools. So yeah.
And a good turnout too. I know that about 2.5 weeks before the tournament, they were a little worried. They even said so. And then 20 teams, pretty good turnout.
Yeah, fantastic for the inaugural, not the first annual, right?
Thank
Tom?
you.
The
Thank
inaugural.
If you go back and look at the posters, though, on Facebook, it says the first annual. Oh, it's one of my pet peeves. Can't have a first annual. You can only have an inaugural. You can have a second annual because you had a first one, but you can't have a first annual. Oh, drives me. It's one of those things. It's like the people that don't know how to use you or your. You know what I mean? It's Y-O-U-R or Y-O-U''RE, and you don't know which one to use. Okay, just third grade's calling. They want their A that you got in English back.
Sure, there and there and there.
Yeah, exactly. Just aggravates me, that's all. Hey, so I will be honest with you. This weekend, turned it all off. I watched documentaries and stuff. Just turned the sports off for the weekend. Couldn't tell you.
I don't think there was anything on.
I heard there was a playoff. I heard there was a pretty good playoff in golf. But I wouldn't know. I heard that the Rays just kept dumping it on the Red Sox, but I wouldn't know.
Well, that was Thursday night, right? I mean, that was so Friday, Saturday, Sunday they played the Yankees and swept them.
Well, but I just kept hearing that the Rays kept playing the replay of Thursday night's game on Bally's, Florida. Constantly.
How good the Rays are. Jeez. But it's great. I think we can all agree the Yankees losing is just good for humanity.
100%.
For humanity. And I mean, I think that's anytime they're one game above 500 is a good day to be alive.
So it looks like now that the checks of the pitchers and everything is going smooth again now. Nobody seems to be that upset about it anymore.
Oh, it's just going to happen now, right? I mean, it happened last night to Garrett Cole. And Garrett Cole had just given up 4 runs, and he's walking off.
And they want to check him,
and the broadcaster's like, the broadcaster, they said, yeah, they're going to check Garrett Cole. And he just starts laughing as they go to break, and I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. And of course, it was a Red Sox broadcast. But I was like, oh, that's so fantastic. It would have been even better if they found something.
Oh, that would have been really, really good. But so it looks like, by the way, I do know this. The SEC will have a College World Series champion.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
No doubt about that. As Mississippi State and Vanderbilt square off for the College World Series title. I mean, if you're a fan.
Vanderbilt is now a powerhouse, right? I mean, you can.
In baseball, sure.
Teams and
yeah.
UCLA teams back in the day.
Certainly.
Wow. Their pitching is just so deep. Incredible.
Remember, that's where David Price went to school.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he went to the College World Series with him.
Yeah. I mean, Vanderbilt's a great baseball. But my question is, and you're a fan of Florida State University. You don't make any bones about that. You root for Florida State. And they play in the almost competitive conference. There's no doubt about that. And so is there going to become a point where SEC track and field, the best. SEC baseball, the best.
Before we go that.
SEC football, the best. I mean, it's time everybody just quits playing and we just watch the SEC.
Hold on. Which conference won the last national football championship?
I can't remember. Can't recall.
And who did they beat?
Can't recall.
That's right. Yeah.
Can't recall.
I'm in SEC. Right. Congratulations.
The almost
we have basketball. You have tennis.
The almost competitive conference. I'm just saying, the almost competitive conference.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, and it's not really an SEC thing. When you go back and look, you look at the ACC, you look at the SEC, you look at the conferences in the South where they can play year round and they can play because of weather and all. I don't see a reason, to me, and maybe I'm not seeing this clearly, but I don't see a reason why if you're a 5-star, 4-star, you're a pro prospect that needs to go to college for a few years for baseball or something, I'm picking someplace down south because, 1, they win, 2, the weather's great, and 3, it's because of the weather that they win a lot of times because they get to play so much more.
So everything's going to change, and it's going to take 4 to 5 years for this this Supreme Court ruling to really kick in. But you've got to remember, let's say you're, and I'll just pick my alma mater, Flagler College, and all of a sudden Flagler College wants to play Division I baseball, competitive Division I baseball, and they say, okay, we're going to spend $500,000 on recruiting, and we're going to give 5 guys, right, who are blue chip, 3 pitchers, a center fielder, and a shortstop.
Okay.
And we're going to give them each $100,000 to play baseball at Flagler. That kind of thinking will change the landscape of all of sports. Because they can do the same thing it's much easier in basketball. Right? Let's say JU. Let's take JU, who already plays Division I basketball. Hasn't been good since Artis Gilmore. So let's say JU.
1971.
Right. They won the NIT. Let's say they decide they want to become a powerhouse. And they said, okay, we're going to need $1 million. We're going to give 5 guys $250,000 each. You're telling me you couldn't get the 5 best players in the country to go play for you for a year? And by the way, let's be very clear. If they go to the NCAA tournament, and if they go deep and if they get lucky and win the NCAA championship, it's worth a whole lot more than that $1 million.
100%. And that's what's
going to happen.
But
that is going to happen.
With that being said, aren't a lot of the schools in the same conferences I talked about, especially the Power 5 conferences, set up financially to do that a lot easier than a Flagler or a JU?
But can they? And are they willing to? Or, because I know there's talks that the SEC is going to say, we're going to put in our own rules as a conference. And that's what the NCAA is hoping, right, is that the SECs and the ACCs and the Big Tens and all the Power 5 set up their own rule structure so that they don't have to pay all this money. But again, right now, if I'm JU, I figure out how I can get $2 million, $3 million, and go buy myself an NCAA tournament.
Let me tell you something. I see what you're talking about, and I know the program at a school that's got 21,000 students in Statesboro, Georgia. I know that program really well, and I know some of the money that is in that program.
Absolutely correct.
Alan Paulson, the man who makes Lear jets.
Sure.
He's a benefactor at Georgia Southern University. The stadium is named Paulson Stadium. There's a lot of farmers who became uber millionaires selling their land for apartments and houses to be built on as the college exploded. It would be nothing for Georgia Southern to go to some of the boosters and say, hey, we want to return back to the prominence we had in 1AA where we won in national championships. We need $10 million to bring the right players in here. They would get it without even batting an eye. Wouldn't it be difficult?
But I know the way. Look, there are some smart people out there, right? And so maybe they say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to create our own ad agency for our athletic department, because that's what it has to be, right? Because they own their likeness. And so what you do is you sign every player when they come in. You say, look, part of our scholarship is you're going to sign this ad agency, and this ad agency is going to pay you $100,000 a year.
Galen, we gotta hold that thought right there. We'll be right back after this short timeout on Ocala Talk.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Today in Ag News from the Southeast AgNet, more than $1 billion in payments are being released over the next several weeks for ag producers with approved applications for the Quality Loss Adjustment or QLA program, and for those who've already received payments through the Wildfire and Hurricane Indemnity
Families of the missing visited the scene Sunday as rescuers kept digging through the rubble. giving hope that someone could yet be alive somewhere underneath the broken concrete and twisted metal. Mayor Charles Burkett, Sunday on NBC News.
We are going to continue looking for our residents and pulling them out until we get everybody out of that rubble. That's all we're doing.
A 2018 report may have exposed the faults of the building.
We're now doing a really deep dive into the documentation, into the communications that had been had over the years with that particular building.
A Pentagon spokesman said strikes were launched at operational and weapons storage facilities at 3 locations in Iraq and Syria Sunday evening, in retaliation for drone strikes at U.S. military personnel in recent days. USA Radio News.
Hey everybody, if you've ever thought about heirloom beans as a storable survival food, I've got great news. In fact, I'll bet it's the best news you've heard in a while. Here's the thing. We've just received a fresh batch of gourmet heirloom beans, survival soup beans. These beans are gorgeous, highly nutritious, and above all, with no hesitation whatsoever, the best tasting beans in the entire world. The best part? We've dropped the price by 33% this week for listeners who know higher food prices are coming and want an inflation hedge you can actually eat if you want to. Gets even better. With your permission, and with a high regard for your health and well-being, I also want to send you 2 pounds of what we think is the single most underrated superfood in the world, period. Go to soupbeansurvival.com, that's soupbeansurvival.com, and discover the real reason we're giving this unusual superfood away at soupbeansurvival.com, that's soupbeansurvival.com.
Monday morning continues at First Light. I'm Michael Toscano, and it is 28 minutes before the hour. So lots still to get to this morning. In a few minutes, we'll direct our attention to Surfside, Florida, where the sad and quite hazardous job of searching for any survivors in the rubble of that collapsed condo building continues. And later, we'll go to Atlanta as the state of Georgia prepares.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving. Two Men in a Truck.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chat. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Gene Powell, Pastamoy, 352-629-2440. A few of our tractor services include bush hogging, disking, and rototilling. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell, Pastamoy, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
Welcome back on a Monday. I was talking to good folks at Pin Flooring and just shipped Galen. During the break, I checked my phone. There was a text message from 8:18 this morning. I won't even tell you who sent the text message. I'll just say the text message said, I rethought it. My iron distances are fine.
Of course he did. Of course he did. That's pretty good.
So let me ask you this.
Illusion.
Somebody else texted during the thing. He goes, you and Galen are forgetting you just can't get $10 million and give it to athletes. It has to go towards their education. It can't just be payments to them. Explain to people how you can take $10 million and make it go towards a kid's education by giving them a car or something like that. To explain how that would work.
Sure. Well, the way I read the law, and again, this is going to be parsed and it will be challenged multiple times. But the way I understand it is every student athlete, whether they play football or whatever, own their own labor and they own their likeness. So all they have to do is create an ad agency, and it will say, we're going to set up a fund for you to have an education. And by the way, education is such a broad term. So if I was to own an ad agency and I have 10 clients, right, and they all happen to play basketball for JU, and I can pay them all a salary, and then I can give them a stipend, I can give them travel money because maybe I want to send them for a shoot all over the world. I'm allowed to do that. So the term education is so broad, you can do whatever you want for it. And just like every other athlete, if you are doing something for me, let's say I own a local car dealership and I want to do a photo shoot, but I don't want to do it here in town. I wanted to do it in Jamaica. And I don't want it just to be you. I want it to be your whole family. So I'm going to bring you and your whole family to a photo shoot for a car commercial in Jamaica. That's legal. That's absolutely
perfectly legal. Perfectly legal.
So, and yes, I understand it has to be for education, but it's not. It's so broad. It could be for your future education, and it just goes into a separate account. Okay, nobody's going to care how you spend it. They're just not. And the way it'll work is if you use it for anything other than not educational purposes, it'll probably be taxed. But the damage is done.
Yeah, and it's going to be something that it'll be challenged. Like you said, it'll be challenged multiple times. But it just, once again, it's going to lead to, and I used to do a radio show on this same airwaves called The Voice of Ocala with a very prominent sports broadcaster and editor, one Buddy Martin. And we used to say all the time, if this Ed O'Bannon case ever comes to fruition where the athletes are given the rights to own their likeness and themselves instead of the NCAA owning it, that's going to lead. That's just another step towards the haves shutting out the have-nots. And you're going to see the big Power 5 conferences. They're going to have more clout now because, yes, a place like Georgia Southern could get the money. A place like, they're Appalachian State, they could get some money one time maybe. But the Power 5 conferences are going to be able to rise above this because of the money they generate, the booster clubs, the Bull Gators and everything. I think, once again, this is going to lead to where the NCAA is going to have the Power 5 conferences. And they may pull away because they may not need the NCAA anymore once this gets going, and then create their own league. And I don't see any way football, at least football and possibly basketball, isn't going in that direction. And I think this money, this way that now athletes own their own likeness and all, and it opens up more money opportunities, I think it helps the Power 5 conferences get to that super conference situation.
Here's where I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think in the long run, when we look in 30 years, it will have evened out. But until everybody figures it out, the smaller schools can adapt much quicker. the FAMUs or the Bethune-Cookmans, if they so choose, could really latch onto this, right? And really bring back prominence to their football programs or their basketball programs, if they choose. And again, it's whoever's willing to adapt. And I don't know if this is a fair analogy, but it's the only one I can think of that's even close to what we're about to face. And that's similar to when segregation became a part of basketball, right? Because up until a certain point, you could only start so many black players, right? And then this team in Texas decided, I'm going to start all black players.
Texas Western.
On the NCAA tournament. That's the kind of thing that could happen right now. Then in the next 2 to 3 years in the NCAA championships.
Well, and schools that really could really use this right away. The quickness you brought it up are the historically black colleges, because there are a lot of kids that are 18, 19 that are buying, that have bought into the woke crowd and the social justice and everything. And if they can get an offer from a historically black college, they may choose that college if the money's there and everything over one of these big power conference universities that are going to set guidelines and rules. You're right. A school like Bethune or a school like FAMU or a school like, believe me, the booster base at Grambling could come up with the money if they wanted to. And then Grambling's a historically great football program anyway. I could see, like you're saying, small universities, especially the historic black colleges, that could benefit in the next 2 or 3 years and could go on the national stage, even if it be for a brief time, because of this new rule change.
Right. Well, look at Deion Sanders at Jackson State, right? He can
get the money. He can get the boosters to give him some money.
Right. So again, I think that is going to determine what our college sports landscape looks like, but it will never be what it used to be. It's going back to like it was post-World War II, right? Where it was just whatever it took, you could go pay for players. You could, you're getting 35-year-old grown men to play. That's where we're at.
Do you think that this will see the end of competitiveness from our service academies because of this? Because they've been pretty competitive over the last 10 years, where they win 9, 10 games. They played in bowl games and everything. But I see there's the colleges that I see get hurt the most are the colleges that are associated with our service military men and women.
Absolutely.
I don't see any way they're going to be able to compete.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if they. I'm glad they can, but I don't think it will matter at all to those people. So.
No, that's the thing. I don't think it will matter to them. And so, it's been nice that Navy has been playing in bowl games. It's been nice that you see Army now back in bowl games, because remember, they were college football in the days before the Super Conference and all. You go back and look, Army won national championships. There were Heisman Trophy winners came off Army. Arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, who could have been even greater, but he served 2.5 years in the U.S. Navy before he came after he won a Heisman Trophy, is Roger Staubach. Who knows what those 2 years of naval service did for his football game, but I tell you what, he's a great American citizen because he honored his commitment and served his 2 years in the Navy just like he's supposed to do.
Yeah, and again, I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of examples of that. So, again, let's see how schools adjust. But again, if I'm a JU, I'm hiring somebody and saying, look, I need to know exactly what I can and can't do. And then I go to my boosters and I say, hey, give me X amount of money. Let's go win us let's at least get invited to the NCAA tournament. And it would change that school around.
And I tell you what, you got a lot of private schools that play big boy football. Imagine the money that could be put into schools. Imagine the money that could go into Vanderbilt. To go into the University of Miami, which is a private university. There's a lot of ways this could go. With private universities, Notre Dame, a private university. You know Notre Dame's got the money to pay.
Each morning, we wake up thankful